Hi everyone and welcome to Tea Time with B and Kit. I'm B.
And I'm Kit.
And in today's podcast, we're going to be talking all things red flags.
Hence why the red shirt. We've all experienced red flags in relationships. And I don't know about you guys, but now I am one of those pros where I can point out a red flag from a mile away. So B and I are going to go through our favorite, or not our favorite.
Not so favorite.
I guess our not so favorite. Red flags that we think are important for every person to know, especially when you're out in the dating world. You might be newly single, you might just be single and you're ready to get out there. So these are our red flags, and I think they can go across the board.
Yeah, even if you're like in a relationship, married, if these are the signs that are showing up regularly,
yeah,
that's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the first one on your list?
So first one for me, which is high on my list of red flags, is inconsistency.
Girl, yes.
And what I mean by that is inconsistent with communication, inconsistent with effort, just being very much on and off, hot and cold, and you constantly questioning it. And before I elaborate on any of that, one thing I actually saw on TikTok earlier today was, you know, he's the one for you when you don't have to question, like, is he in it for me or does he like me? If you don't have to think like that, then that's a green flag. But if you're thinking like that, that's a red flag.
And you know, it's funny enough because I just made a video on TikTok about, I think the lack of consistency is a lack of trust. Like you end up not trusting that person because you're like, you're not consistent. You don't show up in my life like all the time. And also like we go through stuff, right? And if the person doesn't know, especially the big things that you're going through, then how is that person going to be your life partner, going to be with you throughout your entire life? Like that's something that's really big on for me, is like I need somebody who's consistent, knows what's going on, who just shows up, communicates.
Yeah.
And I think because it grows the trust and it builds that foundation of your relationship. And I mean, guys, stay tuned for our next podcast episode too, because we're going to be talking about green flags.
Yeah.
So
it's not all doom and gloom.
No. So this episode is all about what you shouldn't, what you need to look out for.
Yeah, because in the beginning of the relationship, like you're talking about building trust, in the beginning, they are always, and this goes for women too, but mainly this is, you know, helping women with finding men. It's, they constantly blow up your phone. They're constantly wanting to see you. And it's like all in your face. And you think, oh, this is lovely. But then the inconsistency comes when they just don't reply all day.
And they fall off the face of the earth and they ghost you. And then they come back like out of nowhere and they're like, what you doing? WYD. And you're like, late night. Ew.
I'm like, who do you think I am? One of your bros.
I'm like, I'm not a pick-me-sha.
Yes. We don't do that.
We don't have pick-me-sha energy.
No, we don't do that. From 2025, it's not pick-me-sha.
Girl,
era.
we haven't been pick-me-shas.
Well, no, I'm just saying for the...
Oh, yeah, we're not pick-me-shas. And you guys aren't either, because that's why you guys are here today. And so for me, it's... I think person's personality is really big. And like if somebody's like constantly criticizing, complaining, has negative energy, because...
No, run.
Yes. And like I don't need that negative energy. And like, you know, I feel like we're mostly positive people. Like we go through, you know, everybody goes through those ebbs and flows of life.
Yeah.
And I think that in the end of the day, whoever you surround yourself with, you pick up energy. And if that person's constantly criticizing you, they have insecurities. That's why they're constantly nitpicking things on you, about you, or whatever is the surroundings. And then if they just come in with this negative, that's draining. I've been in relationships where people constantly complain, always this negative, always make comments like, oh, they talk crap about everything, everybody. It's just so draining. And being such a positive person, like I got so drained that I'm like, I don't even like being around my partner.
Yeah, it takes a toll on you.
Yeah.
I completely agree. If their energy and their personality is sour, it just ruins everything. And it depending on what kind of woman you are, I felt like I was very strong, but come to find out that was just a facade. I'm strong now. Um,
You're strong when you like.
yeah, when you cut them off. But when I was
Yeah.
in the relationship, I was being constantly criticized, constantly picked at.
Oh,
You then start to question yourself. And
yeah.
if you keep hearing that, you start believing that, because that's
Yeah.
supposed to be the love of your life, right? So that's the person you're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to build with. And if they're telling you you're fat, you're lazy, you're, not pretty, you're not going to achieve anything, you slowly start to believe those things.
Mm-hmm.
So sooner if somebody behaves funny, the energy is off.
Cut them
No.
off early and
Yeah.
don't learn from us. Like I've been in the same situation as B, where I was constantly criticized
Yeah.
about my
Literally
weight, my
over a
appearance,
decade.
and yeah, and
Nearly two.
girl, not anymore.
Not
We
anymore.
don't look back in the past. But
Yeah.
look, the biggest thing about this is hurt people, and you don't want to be around somebody who's constantly hurting you.
Yes and no. For me, I do agree hurt people generally do hurt people, but I've been hurt.
But you're also healed. You're a
And
healed person.
but even when I was hurting, I wasn't
Yeah.
hurting other people. A
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
your
the time, people
character.
didn't even know I was hurt.
Yeah.
Like 99.9% of the time, people didn't know I was hurt.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I
No.
wouldn't be rude to people. I wouldn't lash
No.
out. I wouldn't,
Yeah.
you know, have issues with my other friendships.
Yeah.
So for the most part, yes, hurt people do hurt people. I just feel like
At your No, I'm the same way. It's
it's
like
a
at our
special type of red
core,
flag that.
yeah, at your core, you know how a person is at their core.
Mhm.
And that really, it could change. Like, I don't think it changes. It's like when the person's at their core.
Yeah, if you're just evil, then they're just
Yeah.
evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your next one?
So for me, lack of support.
Girl, yes.
And that support in a relationship is really important, and it goes both ways.
Yeah.
But if I'm the kind of person that is going to feel like if we both have nothing, we can build.
Yeah.
And I will work just as hard as you to build
Yes.
and to get to where we want to and achieve what we need to.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I will also do that if my partner has goals and aspirations and, wants
Mm-hmm.
to achieve something or has a project of their own, I will 100% support them, do whatever
Yeah.
it takes, take on more roles in the household or take on more work roles, whatever the case may be, so you can then focus on that. But if you're not going to do the same for me,
Mm-hmm.
no. And these are the questions, honestly, girls, that you need to have in those first stages of,
Dating.
yeah,
Yeah.
like, don't feel like I'm going to be overstepping the mark by asking such questions, because he may also say, yes, I do support you, but it's how they say yes. Listen to the words that they are using, because they're directly telling you what they feel. Sometimes we don't hear, we're not listening.
Yes, like I think in the beginning of the relationship, ask those questions, and then before you share your thoughts, let them respond first. Because as B said, they're gonna share. Because if you tell a person like, hey, I want this, this, and this, and this, they're gonna mimic.
Yeah, they'll
Oh,
be like,
I
okay.
do this, this, and this, and this. Listen and observe and ask those right questions,
Yeah.
because we've both been in situations where we supported our partner's life goals, and then we forgot about us. Like I didn't get any support on my goals, my dreams, and my
Mm-mm.
aspirations. I remember that one of my exes, we made vision boards, and we both had like we wanted to be an entrepreneur. He wanted to have his business, I wanted to have mine. And then and guess what? We focused on his, and we made in fruition like on his whatever, like the business aspect, this his goals. And I thought about it too, and I looked back at my vision board, and none of like my dreams and my accomplishments, like none of it happened because I put all my energy
Yeah,
on that.
and
And
it shouldn't be like that.
no, you need to be both ways. And look, in a relationship, the best kind of relationships should complement each other,
Yeah.
not complete. You're never going to support, you're not supposed to complete that person. No, you're
No.
supposed to complement, because
Yeah.
you are your own whole person.
100.
And so my next one is, okay. Oh, we've all been there. I feel like majority of us have been there, is gaslighting. And so
Girl,
I'm talking about
this is like, yes.
like twisting the truth that's making you feel crazy.
Yeah, doubting yourself.
And then, of course, keeping secrets. Like, I feel like,
oh yes,
I hate like there should not be secrets in a relationship. Like, I mean, in a partnership, you don't have to tell that person like everything that you do. Like, okay, I woke up and I did this and this and this, and no, like there's some things that they just don't care about. But in the end of the day, like big things shouldn't be kept secrets. And like even just in relationships, like if somebody's making you feel crazy, listen to your intuition. I think that's the biggest thing about gaslighting is listen to your intuition. Like, and call the person out. Like if you feel like they're cheating on you, listen to your intuition, because your intuition never lies. They do, but your intuition does not lie. And so I feel like for me in the past, like I've been gaslighted to believe, like from few my, this is stuff I don't tolerate, is that don't tell me that that you were doing something and then you really weren't, because guess what, the truth always comes out, right? B, like truth always comes out. You're always going to find out. And
yeah, it may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, it will come out. And sometimes when you least expect it, and I can tell you from experience that it's not fun. So that kind of BS needs to be nipped in the bud immediately, or remove yourself from said relationship.
Yeah.
I think sometimes as women, we get too caught up in this is my person. Yeah. And if I leave, I'm going to be alone. So what? I'd rather be alone and happy than be with somebody and just constantly doubt them, doubt myself, not be happy, scared even.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot that now I just wouldn't take anymore. Like any BS, any red flag, depending on the relationship and who I'm with at the time, you either speak about it, nip it in the bud, or just cut it off. I don't have time for that. I just don't.
No, I feel like if you lie to me, and this goes back to that lack of consistency and the lack of trust, I think all of that is so important, because if you build, how are you building? What kind of foundation are you building? Are you building a foundation of lies, inconsistency, lack of trust? Or are you building a foundation of trust? Are you building a foundation of that trust, that security, that safety? That's all going to be there. Like that all comes together when you trust a person. The person is there to support you.
Yeah.
The person doesn't make you feel crazy.
Nope.
Like trust your guts. And like I feel like going backwards, like I heard a really good podcast one time, and the guy, you know how we get hard on ourselves for like the decisions that we make when we're in our
all the time.
And he said this, he goes, what you didn't like, what you don't know at 20, you didn't know. You didn't know what you didn't know.
Literally didn't know.
30, I mean, even your teens, like when you dated in your teens, like as a teenager, you didn't know what you didn't know. You just read things from magazine or TV or YouTube, whatever it is. Your 20s, you didn't know what you didn't know. But after you learn what you know, that's where you grow from it. You become wiser. So I think that once you start seeing somebody trying to like flip the truth on you, especially early on in the relationship, cut it off. And I know it seems like harder than it is. Like you're like, oh, I really enjoy. What do you like about that relationship? Ask yourself that. Like, what am I in it for? Am I in it for the comfortable, like for the comfortability of being in a relationship, saying, oh, I have a man, or are you in it because, you know, like, I mean, literally, like, there's so many people are like, oh.
I'm sorry. First of all, that sounds so stupid.
It's true though, girl. Like,
this is ridiculous. Just to say that you have a man, what? That again, that's pick me shit energy. We don't do that. You're supposed to be the prize. Ultimately, my partner is also my prize, because we should feel like that towards each other. But I don't need a, like, what? I would never feel like I need to have a partner just because I have, like, I need a man just because I want, like, what? That's ridiculous. No. We don't do that. We don't do that.
I mean, and exactly. We're not pick me shit energies here. And so, no.
You need to do a lot of work on yourself if that's how you think. Another red flag for me is when they're very controlling,
girl,
and borderline abusive. And abuse can come in all different shapes and sizes. Don't just think, oh, he's punching me, or he's being violent. He could abuse you financially, emotionally. Emotionally, I think it's worse than anything. Genuinely making you feel unsafe. I mean, I would 100% get help if you are being abused in any which way or form. But controlling behavior, I've had that with my first husband, and no.
I've had a controlling ex too, where anywhere I went, I would have to send him a picture.
That's ridiculous.
I would FaceTime him and be like, "Hey, I'm hanging out with my girlfriend," and but a lot of times when they do all that controlling, it's because they're doing something that's shady.
And they're insecure.
And look, in order for you to grow and evolve, you need to be secure, and you need to be with a partner who is secure.
Yeah.
And that's a bottom line, is like, if somebody's trying to control every aspect of your life,
no, that's abuse.
That is abuse. And I think about the way I felt, and I feel like a lot of women can relate to this, is like, when you're being controlled, didn't you feel like a caged bird?
All the time. Like I isolated myself from my family.
Yep.
I cut my friends off.
Yep.
I literally went to work.
Yep.
And he would drop me to work, and then I would get picked up from work.
Yep.
He would call, and my office, and if he couldn't get through to me, if I was in a meeting, I would call him back, and he would question who I was in a meeting with. If I had a work outing or like work drinks or a dinner or a birthday thing, I would get 1,000,001 questions as to where you're going, who you're going with, who'd you speak to, who'd you sit next to, that kind of ridiculousness. And he even wanted to start a fight on my birthday. We'd went out with a whole bunch of my friends and my work friends. Even my brother was there. Like, I had cousins there, and he again was so insecure.
Yep.
And I never once gave him reason to think that I was gonna do anything. And one of my guy friends gave me a hug to say that he was leaving, and he got mad about it. He's like, "Why is he hugging you? Why is he behaving like this?" And you just think, "Oh, okay."
I had a similar situation too, where that the man I was dating, it was early on in a relationship, and I should have just cut it off. But again, like, I didn't.
We didn't.
Girl, he was jealous of my gay best friend at the time. And my gay best friend, he wasn't even like, he was the most feminine, flamboyant man that you would ever meet. And he was jealous of him because
ridiculous.
I think you were actually there too. Is that me, you, him?
I know of the incident. Yes,
we were.
Well, it wasn't even an incident.
It wasn't even an incident. Like, it was our first time that they were going to meet him, and I had my event planning business at that time, and I was an event planner, and we had an event because her and I worked together. So me, her, and the gay friend at that time, we all shared a hotel room. We slept for probably like 1 to 2 hours, you guys.
Because we had to flip this big, huge, flamboyant Indian wedding, which is what most of our clientele was. And he got funny about her sharing a room with her gay best friend for just a few hours.
It was me, B, and then him.
And I'm like,
he stormed off, yelled at me.
Childish behavior.
And look,
that was the time when you should have been like, nope.
And look, that version of me, like, I'm proud of like how resilient I was.
Yes.
But that version of me is long gone.
Oh, yes. I can imagine you now. Like, if a guy was to just question anything about your integrity, you'd be like, you know what, there's a door, you can leave.
I was so I don't do dating apps, but I was on it just to check it out one time. And then I was talking to this man, and I wasn't even sure about him. And he's like, "Hey, do you want to talk on the phone?" Sure. First, I think this is like right after texting a little bit on the app, he called me. His first conversation to me was, he made a comment about like Indian women. And he's like, "Oh, Indian women can't date outside the race." And I was like, huh?
I mean, a lot of people, I will say, go toward the stereotype, and they made me think of, Indians is just like how Muslim people, like traditionally, are treated as well. So I feel like,
And I was like, no, I was like, that's not true. I was like, my ex was actually Latin American. And then he refused to believe it. And he was like, no, blah, blah. And he lost his cool on me. And I said, look, I was like, this is not going to work out. And I was like, don't ever call me again. And
yep, blocked.
blocked. And that was
Literally,
it. It was like 2 seconds. Like
you
as
owe
soon as
them nothing.
this guy started even talking, open his mouth. I was like, this is not going to work out for me. Goodbye. And don't ever call me again. And I blocked him. And so it's literally like how you level up. Like this is a beginning 2 second conversation with a person. And they're over here trying to gaslight me. They're trying to control me. And I don't even know you.
Yeah, literally.
So you're not going to be into my vicinity at all.
No.
And so guys, learn the block button. Like this is going to be the key.
Yeah. And also delete their messages. Don't just block them and then reread and like put yourself through that BS. One piece of advice that I will tell you girls is, if your best mate, your sister, your cousin, your colleague was going through the same shit that you're going through, what advice would you give them? And if it was, hey, you need to stick up for yourself, you need to leave, you need to tell him what's what, or girl, that's a red flag, I would like, take it slow, especially if it's early days, or maybe you need to do a bit of research into his background or whatever the case may be. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like, think about it.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the wall, girl. I think, okay, look, your closest friends are all mirror reflections of you.
Yeah.
And they know you the best. Like they probably have been through every aspect of your life, or even if they haven't been through every aspect, they're the ones that will pick you up when, shit hits the fan pretty much.
Yeah.
But the minute that you introduce the person, the potential partner, to your friends, and the minute that they say that they don't like him, there's a reason why. Because they see something. Yes. They see something that you don't see because you have rose-colored glasses on right now, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, I don't know." And honestly, like if your friends don't tell you the truth, that's a red flag. I mean, like,
yeah.
But like your friends should be like, "Hey, like if I bring somebody around B's like, hey, girl, I'm not.
I don't know, or even if I'll be like, he seems lovely, but
the butt
makes all the difference, because then Kit should then be like, okay, how can we, why the butt? You should be like head over heels and like be congratulating me or thinking that he's amazing. He might be amazing, have great accolades, like, he might have a great job, might live in a lovely house, drive a lovely car, carries himself lovely. But I feel like the older you get better, well, you should get better at sensing others' energy. And if your energy is off, no. If you say something that just kind of was, no. Or your eyes are wandering, that's another thing. If you're going on a date with a guy and his eyes are not set on you and his eyes are wandering, what are you looking at, bro? I'm right here.
Look.
That's so dumb.
Look. Okay.
Come on, man. It just back to basics.
I should be on you. Okay, like I can appreciate, yes, like if a gorgeous man walks in, but I'm not gonna be like following my eyes, my body towards
oh my
them.
God, like that actually reminds me.
Glance a little, be like,
listen, we are human. This actually triggered something. When I was married to my first husband, I remember we went out to lunch and we were sat outside a cafe and we were just in people watching.
Yeah.
We both love doing that and be like, oh, look, and everybody loves doing that. So we were just sitting there having lunch and then this guy walked past, and it wasn't like I was gulping and staring. I literally took a bite out of my food and looked up and then carried on eating my food. It wasn't even a thought. He busted my balls. He was because he felt insecure and he felt some type of way and he had a short temper, and then he projected that shit onto me. I think I probably did cry because I felt like shit. And plus it's in public, like you're doing it in public, like you can't talk to me behind closed doors. You're talking like that to me like in front of others. No.
And you know what, I believe that a big red flag is honestly like a lot of this stems from an insecure man, and an insecure man will try to break or will break
he will break you.
Secure woman.
Yep.
And especially if you're insecure, that person will just like pounce on you.
And they sense that because they want control.
They want control. And a healthy relationship, which we're going to talk in our next episode, they don't do that. Like I've been around people who are in healthy relationships, and those type of men, they're not going to do any of that. So really be discerning. I think that in something that's so toxic, you will know, you'll feel it in your gut, but you always ignore it. Look, in my experience, every time you ignore your gut feelings, it whatever's meant to happen is going to happen to you, but in the most hardest way possible because you ignore the guts. Like your gut feeling is literally like the universe, God, your angels, whatever you want to believe in, warning you, giving you like a little red flag, like, or a warning button, like warning, warning.
Literally,
and then every time you ignore it, it's going to be like warning, warning,
it's
warning,
gonna get
worse.
it
louder and louder. And then it's going to hit you like a brick wall because and your whole life will come run like breaking down because you didn't listen to those warnings.
Yeah, and warnings can come in all different ways, and it could be you're gaining weight,
Yeah,
you have headaches, you just don't feel well when you're around that person. I can tell you now, when you were going on a date and you get butterflies,
that's anxiety, and that's not a good
that's
thing.
not a good sign. I get it if it's like your first initial date and it's nerves and excitement, and that those are the butterflies you're getting. But after that first interaction with somebody, you shouldn't get butterflies anymore.
No,
that whole butterfly concept is BS. That is like your body's going to fight or flight mode because you're nervous and not in a good way.
Trauma response.
Yeah. So think about that. That's not cool.
Yeah, like 100%. And B hit the nail on the wall. Like if you start getting any kind of like sick symptoms or your body's like reacting, you get rashes. Like I got shingle. I got like
I break out in hives now. This is like my body's way of dealing with trauma around particular people.
Yeah, I got shingles from an ex. Like my body couldn't handle it, and I was really young. I think I was in my early 30s, and I was like, "What is this?" And I literally thought it was from an ear infection. My doctor gave me medicine, and it's like the antibiotics.
Yeah.
That you typically get. I've been taking those since I was a baby, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
They don't work on shingles, does it?
Well, no, like so I started because I got an ear infection, and then I started getting this like it felt like a rash, and it was like only right here, and I called my doctor and I was like, "Hey," and he's like, "It's such an isolated spot. Come in." Came in, and he's like, "No, that's shingles," and so he gave me like medication for shingles, and luckily I caught it early on, but it came from that trauma response from being in a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
So guys, like
listen to your body,
listen to your body, listen to your friends, listen to your family. If they don't like the person, it's for a reason because they see something that you just don't see.
Yeah.
Because when you're living life with those rose-colored glasses on, you don't see red flags.
Well, no, and plus we're also, and again, we've been through the traumas and we're not going to go through them anymore. But I will say is we stay because we see the potential that we want. We're like, if he just doesn't do this, he's going to be great. If he doesn't nitpick, then he will be the perfect partner. If he made extra time for me, I know that he will realize and he will treat me better. He will give me more love and more attention, and our love will grow and we will become stronger. You're holding on to hope and potential it doesn't exist. And that's a really hard pill to swallow, especially if, you love. But that's me. And like, I want to be in love. And I love the whole concept of having somebody and growing with your partner. And that feeling of being alone is very scary. But again, like I said earlier, I'd rather be alone and happy than be with someone for the sake of being with having somebody and just suffering and being unhappy. We get one life, and it's very much cliche. And we do talk about having one life in a lot of our videos because now is the time. We have to live now. What are you going to do when you're dead? You're not going to How are you going to, fix relationships? How are you going to fix yourself? How are you going to work on yourself? Now is the time to put in the effort, not be lazy. Stop looking at the potential in others. Look at the potential of yourself. That is key. You will then attract the right person. And you may have to go on X amount of dates to find who you need or want, or, be your forever person. But take your time and work on yourself first. I think that's like, and as much as like you read it and you hear it, and unfortunately you do have to go through some form of trauma to have that light bulb moment.
Yeah.
To be like, you know what, no more. I'm going to work on myself. I'm better than this.
Yeah.
I'm worth so much more than that. So,
you got me thinking. I think a lot of times also we get stuck in we stay in a relationship because we see the potential, but also we remember how it felt in the very beginning when they
that's what we're
loved
holding. That's the person we're holding on to.
That's like, yeah. Or I think back to it too, is some of my past relationships, they were just so like, it was like physical, like, and then after the physicality wears out, we're just there and it's just like that comfortable. But they don't know anything about me. We've gone into a place where it's just like we are there, we do like fun things together, or sometimes we used to just watch TV and stuff together. But deep down, that person he didn't know anything about me.
There's like no substance.
There's no substance. It's like, take away the physical. What do you know about me? How much depth do you know? And I think that a lot of times we get caught up in like the way that person makes you feel. Like, you may feel like $100 in the beginning, and that person's like telling you all the right things, making you feel important. Like,
well, that's the love bombing stage.
Yeah, giving you all. But we get stuck in that. And then also, like, let's say you guys are having like amazing sex or whatever it may be, and then that keeps on carrying. But eventually, after that honeymoon phase, that person should know every aspect.
Yeah, you should know things like what I like to eat, what my aspirations are, what my favorite color is, what was my favorite movie,
what I want, like where I want to grow. Are we going to grow together? Or
how many kids do I want to have? Or,
or just depth. Like, I think that, like, what are my dreams? Like, where do I want to travel the world to? Like, what's on my bucket list? Like,
where can we go to together? What can we do together?
Do we want to invest together? Do we want to grow our businesses together? Are you going to support me when I'm doing this and I'm going through this? Or if my family is sick, are you going to show up? Like, those are kind of things that the person needs to show up with. And I think,
but they also, like you're saying, they should know.
They should know. And like, you should have these conversations. Like, I feel like now I'm an intentional dater, and I feel like I ask a lot of questions in the beginning because, dating is the biggest form of an interview. Yeah. And I love interviewing. And I mean, I interview, like, I just love people's stories. I love, like, even like job interviews. Like, I love, like, and I know a lot of people just don't like interviewing, but I'm like, okay, let's get to know each other. Or like, but dating is an interview. You guys are seeing if you guys are going to be
compatible.
Compatible, potential life partners. Is this person going to be with me, stand by me for the rest of my life? Like, this should be the biggest interview of your life. Yep. And if they don't make you feel right, they don't check off like the deep shit. Like, okay, surface level, like, yeah, he looks good, he's tall, he makes money, this and that,
and we have good sex. I mean,
like, that is like, that stuff should be a given. Okay, but what about the depth? Like, are you able to talk about, hey, even just like, hey, like, he should know your reading style. We talked about this last time. Is like, like, you like spicy books. Like, he should be like, hey, so what kind of spicy book are you reading now? Or to, tell me a little bit about it. Or he should know like depth, and like even just a little things like wants to have a homestead in the future. Like, he should start helping investing in like baby chicks and stuff. Like,
I would love someone to turn up with baby chickens. I'd love that.
Like, you know what I mean?
That would be brilliant.
Like, I think that level of depth, like, if the person does not give you any kind of depth and doesn't know anything about you from the get, besides like he gives you a few material things.
Yeah, like, that's surface level. Like,
red flag.
What if you get sick? Are you gonna stand by me, you're going to support me, you're going to be there with me, holding my hand, going to appointments. Like, all these things are really important.
Or are you going to get mad at me because after surgery, you thought that I was going to be at the hospital longer, so you wanted to come by because it's on your schedule.
Yeah.
And I went home, and the person wasn't there. Like, I mean, honestly, like a person should be there. Like, think about how your best friend treats you. Your best friend's going to be there. That's how your relationship should be. And if not, it's a huge red flag.
You should be able to joke with each other. You should be able to have deep thought talks with each other. You should be able to talk freely without any kind of judgment. And if you can't do those things, no. Plus, it shouldn't just be about me. It should be like, oh, I want to know more about your family.
Learn about each other.
And what's important to you should also be important to them, and vice versa. And I feel like for the longest time we've been with individuals that we tell them. That's another thing. When you're going on a date and you just blah 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 blah, and he's not asking, he's not asking any questions,
or they're talking the whole time too.
Yeah, and then like, oh, I do this and blah 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 blah, and I'm like this, and never once asks you a question, a relevant question.
Or not even ask you a question besides like, oh, what do you do? That's not cute.
You should already know that kind of nonsense.
And most men don't care what a woman does. Like, just to be honest with you.
Well,
like,
a real man shouldn't. No.
A real man shouldn't. And like, they don't care what you do. I mean, like, you could talk about it and you can be passionate, and they'll be really happy about for what you are because you're passionate about what you do. But if the person doesn't ask you any questions, they don't listen, and also too, they don't take accountability.
I'm just gonna reshuffle my.
Oh yeah, then that's all a red flag. Yeah. So, I mean, to close this episode out, I think my biggest piece of advice to you is trust your gut. Listen to your intuition. And if you might be feeling like, okay, like I'm not sure how I feel about this, get together with your close friends, introduce him to them, and they're going to tell you, they should tell you exactly what they feel, and just listen. I mean, if you're listening to this episode and you're taking notes, you're probably in a toxic relationship, and you should reevaluate that. And look, I know it's always scary, and I'm not telling you what you should do, but I know it's scary to get out of a relationship, because then you're like, well, what do I do then? You have the ability to restart life in your terms.
Yeah, you have free will.
And I think that's the most amazing thing, because the most important relationship that you should ever have in life
is with yourself.
Yep. Yeah. The one with you.
100%.
Because you're going to be with you until you die. And so get to know you, figure out what you like, figure out what you don't like, figure out what your standards are, have boundaries with people. Do you, because that way you can thrive, and then you're going to attract amazing people. But if you're sitting there and you're being around this toxic relationship, that's as far as your threshold can go. You're going to live a very discontent life. You're not going to be happy. You're probably not going to feel the best either. You're going to be worn down. You're going to be broken. You're going to have low self-esteem, low self-worth, low confidence.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
So figure out try to get out of that toxic relationship. And honestly, if you need help and support, we're going to add some links to the comment section of just resources. These are going to be worldwide, of just people who you can go to. Look for a therapist, look for a counselor, all of that. Seek support if you don't have anybody you can go to because you're so isolated. Because I was in the position where I didn't have any friends. I had one friend, and and I just feel like I was very alone. And then I started trying to look at other resources. So you're not alone. You can always reach out to us, and we can assist you in any way that we can.
Yeah, I agree. Please, if you are in any which way going through any of these scenarios, get help, and we will share links. And it's really important, because I feel when we are in a relationship and we feel stuck, sometimes we don't feel safe or comfortable speaking out or reaching out. And this goes to our friendship podcast, is where I learned to cut people off because I didn't trust them. And I will also do the same if I will cut somebody off, even if I'm in a relationship with them if I don't trust them, and if I feel some type of way and the energy is off. So please, please, please get help if you are in a very sticky situation. I know it's tough.
Yeah.
And I've been in unfortunate situations in the past, but you don't have to deal with those things alone.
No.
Get help. It's really important. And I will say this, and this is more toward the South Asian women. We get judged, especially if you leave your husband. Not so much boyfriend. So
we're in a generation now
that we just don't give a
who cares?
Yeah, don't care.
All of our elders, we love them and respect them, but they're going to have opinions, and they're going to make you stay in a situation that is not good for you, not safe for you. And they don't know what's going on and even if they know what's going on behind closed doors.
Now it's so common where the mother-in-law knows, even the actual bride's parents know that the daughter is suffering, and because of society, they just say, well, you know what, he's a man, which A is what, and B, what is society going to say? So just keep your mouth shut.
What are they going to say when you end up dead is my thing.
Well, this is my thing, and I said this to my parents. Do you want a dead daughter or do you want a happy daughter?
That's it.
You have two choices. Just because I'm not physically dead, but I'm dead inside. So what do you want?
That's it. So choose you. And even if it's hard, you know what? We've been through it, and I feel like I'm so happy on the other side. Yeah, you know, in the beginning, it's going to be hard. And I'm going to be honest with you. That's why you get a good support system. If you don't have one, start looking around for a good therapist, counselor, life coach, whatever it may be, and lean onto them. Start building out what your hobbies are. What do you want to look like? Figure out that, because all of that is so important. As B said, you know, when you're at peace and you're happy, that's all that matters. You're living a life of luxury when you're happy and you're at peace. And it's the most sacred thing that we can have, is being at peace and being happy. So guys, really, I hope you guys take notes. Again, reach out to us, and we're here for you. I mean, B and I have been through so much in our lives.
Yeah, I mean, we just scratched the surface, and this is a short podcast, but I mean, we could go on and on and on for days.
Yeah, and we have wisdom that we want to share with you guys. So think of us as your big sisters. We're here for you. Or if you're older than us, as our sisters, we're here to support. We're here to love on you. And just know that you're not alone. Whatever you're going through, you're not alone. And so with that being said, sending you guys lots of love and love and light and support. So if you guys need anything, message us. And B,
you know where to find us. We're all over social media. We're over at TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and here on Spotify as well. So as also Kids said, please, if you need to, click any of the links that we share with you. And if you have anything specific you need to ask, let us know. We will do our best to help you.
You guys love.
Yeah. Bye, guys.